Dr. Rick dropping in on you. Hope everybody is having an unbelievable end of the complete week, moving into the weekend, start to your weekend, however you want to look at it. I hope that you are progressing in your endeavors, and that's success to me. Success is progressive movement towards something. It's not just getting there, it's the entire journey of seeing yourself evolve and change and grow and get stronger, get wiser, become more refined and more sophisticated in how you move and think and operate, and looking at how it serves you. Life is about getting to a place through a process. And if you're moving in that process, you are successful. You may not be where you want to be right now, but if you keep moving toward it, you will get there. The only thing that stops people is becoming paralyzed by something. Some people are paralyzed by fear. Other people are paralyzed by the unknown. Other people are paralyzed because they're concerned with what other people are going to think of them. Other people are paralyzed by limiting beliefs, ideas that suggest they can't do something they want to do. And so they hide behind what they know. They hide behind familiarity. Whenever someone comes to me and they're telling me, look, I tried that, but it just didn't feel right, what they're telling me is that they tried it and it was unfamiliar, and that feeling of unfamiliarity just didn't rest with them. It was a biological, literally a biological response to entering into an arena in which there was no certainty and no familiarity, and you were going to have to learn things. It's like transferring from a school to a new school where you don't know anybody and you walk in the classroom for the first time. There's a feeling you're going to feel that doesn't feel right. It's just you're in a social environment, a public environment, and you feel out of place. And the way that you establish your place is by engaging. It's by becoming active. The more you stand off, the more you go off into a corner, the more isolated you will become, because they will treat you the way you're behaving. And the same thing with life. Life is sitting up, looking and responding. A lot of you think that life is happening to you. Life isn't happening to you, it's responding to you. Life is literally determining your next step based on your first thought. I say this a lot. Your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. That is literally the theme of my book, I Am, which is my 21st book. It is the thing. You've seen it in the Bible. You heard James Allen write. You've seen James Allen write about it in As a Man Thinketh, but the Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And it's true. The heart is nothing but the subconscious. It's the deepest recess of your soul. It's the deepest recess of your being. It is what controls 96% of your behavior. Your conscious mind only controls 4% of your behavior. That's why willpower alone doesn't work. You literally have to change your entire thought process, your entire paradigm. You got to shift it underneath the surface, because it's the underneath or the lower current that's moving your life. It's the autopilot stuff that's happening that's causing the problem. The things you do habitually without thinking, the way you talk to yourself, the way you process information, the way you view situations. What someone views as an absolute catastrophic problem, another person views as a puzzle, as an enigma, as something to be solved. The person who sees the challenge as something to be solved looks for the solution. The person who sees it as a problem focuses on that problem, because it's that problem that they fear. It's that problem that creates anxiety. And so they focus on it. The problem is, what you focus on, you feel. I am a person who has made my living helping other people become better. Better in the areas of fitness, better in the areas of business ownership and finance, also better in the areas of relationships, but most importantly, in mental and emotional health. what I can tell you is we all need help. We all need somebody that we can lean into, someone that can help us process things, even with someone of my level of expertise. And if you look at the amount of research I've done, peer-reviewed research, the amount of published research, the amount of books I've written on topics, the amount of lectures I've done, I have a pretty significant level of expertise in human behavior, and yet I have to consult someone who consistently admits they know less than I do, but can point out things that I'm missing. Why? Because when you're in the midst of it, sometimes the trees don't allow you to see the forest. And so you need people to help you. So, and I always say this, because someone asked me, and I'm not tooting my own horn because I don't think I'm better than anyone. I just think that I have a unique position in life based on the path I chose. And everybody has a right to choose a path that places them in unique positions that only they can live in and prosper from. But someone asked me not that long ago, say, do you find it increasingly more difficult? He said that, but you talk a lot about the fact that your great-grandfather, who is also my adoptive father, my biological great-grandfather, my legal father, adoptive father, would always tell me, never be the smartest person in the room. And I've lived my life working very hard to be as much as possible around people that knew more than me. And so the person asked me the question, do you find it increasingly difficult not to be the smartest person in the room? I said, it depends on how you define that. In certain areas, there's going to be an extreme amount of difficulty not being the smartest person in the room, because a lot of the stuff I literally pioneered. Visionetics and a bunch of other things. I pioneered it, or I came right behind somebody and expanded it. So it's very few people in the world that's going to know it at the level I know it. We get to talking epigenetics, we get to talking cybernetics, which was the birth and brainchild of Dr. Matthew Marks, that I took and brought into, along with Guy Greenfield's work in creative visionetics. Only a few people are going to be able to talk about that on the level that I can talk about it, because I created it. But the thing is, to be in a room with someone smarter than you doesn't mean they have to know everything you know and plus something. They just simply have to know something you don't. And in that case, I can always be in a room with someone smarter than me. I just have to change my mindset. So being in a room where you're not the smartest person isn't necessarily being in a room where you're among a bunch of intellectuals. It's being in a room and realizing you can learn from anyone. It's getting outside of your ego and allowing yourself to be spoken to and taught. And I've been taught by children. I learn a lot from children. My ability to imagine and to move beyond. I learned something from a kid today. I was in the store, and I was behind this lady, and she had a little kid. His name was Angel. And she kept saying, stop, Angel. Go put that back. I'm not getting it. He'll go put it back, but then he'll go back and get it. And then eventually, she kept telling him, it was a long line. And a real long line. And she just kept telling him, put it back, Angel. Eventually, Angel stopped putting it back. And he started drifting off and then coming back, but he never put it down. And so I'm watching him. I'm looking at Angel. And Angel is like, you know what? I'm not putting it down. I'm going to keep coming back until she finally gets it. And what did she do? She got it. And I looked and I said, we can learn a lot from, and I told her, I said, we can learn a lot from him. He never gave up. He had no real true power to make her get it. But his persistence moved her in a way that she couldn't resist. And so I've learned a lot from kids. Persistence. Man, you get a kid that's deciding they want something, they may not get it, but you're going to be wore out by the time you don't give it to them, for sure. They're not just going to sit up and take no for answer. We teach them and train them and beat them down to accept no. Stop questioning me. Don't come back. You bet not come back and ask again. What did I say? And so we beat it out of them. So they start to just say, okay, no means no. Well, anybody that's been in sales understands that if you accept the first no, it's going to be a long haul trying to be persistent and get anything out of life, no matter what you're selling. And everybody's a salesperson at some level, especially if you're running a business. And so my thing is, I want to encourage you to be persistent. I want to encourage you to take advantage of opportunities. I want to encourage you to see your vision and to move toward it. Not because the pathway is easy, but because you are refusing to give in, to let go, to turn around, to give up. And I want you to experience that. Now, with that being said, one of the things that I believe that everybody needs is to experience business ownership. Number one, the freedom of being able to make choices and move. The confidence of knowing that if I wake up every day, I have something that I can use to support myself. It may be tough, but the thing is, there's no guarantee. You can work for a company and think, well, all I got to do is show up to work and I'm gonna clock in and work my hours. I'm gonna get paid. I don't have to worry about whether I sell something. But what happens when the company hits rough spots and they start laying off? You don't get a choice of how to do something. Let me tell you something. When you learn how when you learn the basic principles of business, which I teach, and I'm pretty sure if you go out there and find them, go search a video, Dr. Rick Wallace, The Basics of Business, you'll see a video and it gives you the basic principles and line up with how you create a business. But the thing is, what you'll find with me is anytime my market is shifting, I shift. And that's the thing you got to learn. You got to learn how to learn, unlearn, and relearn. I shift with the market. And I've just learned how to do it. Sometimes this is working, sometimes that working, sometimes people are focused on this, sometimes people are focused on that. And as long as it's within the vein of my expertise, that's where I put my energy at the time. Now, I don't stop being who I am. I just shift what I focus on in my ring. And, you know, I've expanded my ring and I've mastered my ring, and there's always going to be people who need me. There's always going to be people who are struggling with depression, struggling with trauma, people who want to do better in life, people who are trying to save their marriage, all kinds of different things that are simply going to be there. I just have to know where to be and when to be there. What I would suggest, if you don't have at least 2 streams of income that you control, some sort of business that you run on some level, doesn't have to be anything major or massive to get started. That's the thing. People are thinking, man, I need some startup capital. You got to have at least X amount of $1,000 to get started. Actually, you don't. You just have to know how to do it. Now, there are 2 things that I'm offering right now to people who really want to get business started. There is the 7-day online business launch, which is actually the exact formula I use to do all my business launches. If you look up and you start to pay attention to the different logos, those are just representations of entities that I run on the internet. And then there are probably 15 more that I don't have branded towards me. They are branded neutrally so that I can tap into markets that may not be feeling me. See what I'm saying? Okay, so if you see that, that tells you how many times I've tapped in. There's so many opportunities out there. You don't have to have a passion in it. It just has to be a legitimate business that you believe in, that you're willing to put your name on it. Because if it's not good and you put your name on it, people are going to associate it with you and you're going to screw your reputation up. But if it's something good, it doesn't have to be you. You can promote somebody else that you believe in and put it out there and promote them. And if they're paying referral fees, if they're paying affiliate commissions, all that stuff is a business. You are a paid promoter. That's what you're getting to do. You're paid to direct. But there's always something. Or if you have a passion you want to get into it. But the 7-day business launch is a step-by-step course that I created for you to walk through. I've taught the course live, and so you're going to get the lectures of those live courses I taught. Plus, you're going to get the entire course laid out for you from start to finish. This package is well under $1,000. Matter of fact, it's under $500. And I think that's a steal for what you're going to get, because you're going to make that more than that weekly if you apply yourself. Okay. And that's just getting started. I know people who make upwards of $20,000 a day affiliate marketing. They put a lot into it. They got the whole system worked out. They have an advertising budget and a bunch of other stuff that make it happen, but it's doable. And you can learn all that. I teach all that, burn rates, market analysis, all that. But let's keep it simple. The other way is for people who are not self-starters, for people who are extremely business or who have full-time jobs and don't have time to go out there and create one. We will create a business for you. Literally, we will sit down, we'll have a consultation, we'll determine what industry you want to move into, what type of business you want to open online. We will create that entity online. We will create your marketing, your sales funnel. We will set everything in motion, and we will manage that company until it generates a profit. In other words, everything you are investing in it, we will run that company and get it to the point where you've earned your money back. So actually, we're going to make sure you don't lose. Then we're going to stick around for an entire year as a consultant so that you're not left out there alone, because there are a lot of challenges that come. Being a business owner isn't easy. You get the flashy pro side of it. Nobody talks about the cons. It's challenging, but it's rewarding. It's fulfilling, and it can be a lifesaver. If you don't have at least 2 streams of income, you need to click one of those links, whichever one works for you, and you need to take advantage of it. Don't sit on opportunities. That's why so many people get left behind. They just simply won't take action. That's my challenge to you. I want you to take action. All right, on that note, look, I'm going to get ready to get out of here, you guys. Have an unbelievable remainder of your day, and I will check up with you later.